We are going to look at emotional immaturity, and nowadays it's something that has become so prevalent in our generation, especially the fact that people don't like taking accountability, and people just like blaming people. And I think one of the things that we are suffering so much with our current generation, and I'm talking about millennials who were born maybe, let's say, between 92 and 95 there, with the Gen Zs, moving on to the Gen Zs, is the issue of emotional immaturity. And this stems from issues of entitlement and feeling that like the world belongs to you or the world owes you something, not knowing that that the portion of life that you've been given uh, by God is for you to make the best out of it. So I was just researching and looking at what emotional maturity is, and I got referred to the American Psychological Association that has defined emotional maturity as the ability to manage your emotions, stay accountable, communicate with clarity, and maintain stability, even under pressure. So it goes on to say that emotionally mature individuals show emotional regulation, accountability, adaptability, empathy, and constructive communication, and also long-term thinking. So there was a study that was done by Cambridge University in 2019 that shows that emotional regulation predicts life success more accurately than IQ and academic performance. So this issue of emotional maturity is now a big topic, especially even in the corporate world, where we are talking about something called the EQ, emotional intelligence, whereby nowadays they don't just look at the IQ, but they also look at the EQ. How good are you with living with people? Will you accept your mistakes? Are you carrying trauma from the past? How is your outlook of life? How would you describe yourself in terms of when you're caught up in a situation that contradicts your values? How are you going to handle it? Are you a person of inclusivity? Although inclusivity is a topic we shall look at another time. So I want to empower you today to know what are the signs of an emotionally mature person based on the data that I've been researching on the internet, because this is a topic that is close to my heart. Number one, you realize that they like avoiding responsibility. And emotionally mature people rarely say that I was wrong. They will rarely admit that they were wrong. Instead, they choose to blame, they choose to deflect, they rationalize, and also avoid confrontations when they've made a mistake. So emotionally mature people own their actions even when it's uncomfortable. So one of the things you need to look at is, do they take accountability for their mistakes, or when they are called to to address an issue, how do they approach it? Are they people who blame others for the reason? And I know we see this a lot in relationships, especially for a guy. If you dated a lady and she tells you that I am like this because you made me, so do you want to say that I am wrong? Instead of admitting that she has done a mistake, she will deflect it and put it on you. Another second thing, or number two, not another two, is emotional reactivity. If the smallest inconvenience triggers an explosion, shutdown, or defensive outburst, it shows emotional immaturity. So there are studies that were published by Gottman Institute showed that emotional flooding reduces your ability to think logically by up to 70%, causing reaction-based decisions instead of reasoned ones. So the thing is, if you are having a contention that makes your emotions flare up, and it's pointing out to maybe an issue or a mistake that has been done. How do you respond to it? And how does the other person respond to it? Do they become defensive and combative about the situation? Yeah, so look out for such a sign. So number one was avoidance of responsibility. Number two is emotional reactivity, and yeah, they are very volatile. They're very volatile. Hey, see me, like it's not me. I don't want. No, unaniekelea and all this. Instead of even listening to the issue, sometimes you can start a conversation over a genuine thing, and they become defensive when you've not even pointed out an error or pointed out a mistake. They just become guilty. Like it's just their nature. So number three is difficulty regulating their emotions. So you'll tend to see a lot of mood swings, outbursts. Maybe they give you silent treatment, and also they show signs of passive aggression. So this is according to Harvard longitudinal study that highlighted that those who master emotional regulation have stronger marriages, better careers, and longer life expectancy. And I would agree with that, because you have no control of what a person do to you, but you have control of how you respond. You respond to them. Like take for instance us who live in Kenya, and sometimes you board a matatu, because most of us Kenyans, we use matatus as or the public transport system as a means of commuting, and sometimes you are not able to control how the conductor or the driver responds to you. So how do you react in such a situation? There are some matters that just requires you to keep quiet, and sometimes okay, you may need to stand for your rights, especially if you see somebody is trying to take advantage of you. But how do you manage yourself in such a condition? Do you portray a high level of emotional control and self-control? Because if you can control yourself, you can be able to control your emotion. Number four is the issue of entitlement and self-centered thinking. So emotionally mature individuals often feel I deserve without the effort. And this can take a good example. Let's look even in relationships, whereby sometimes like a woman can ask you to do something for them, and if you ask them, why should you think I should do this, and the reason they give is because I am a woman. I am a woman. Or you don't respond to the way that she wanted, and she's like, but I expected you to do this, I expected you to do the other. And you ask her, where was this expectation written? You know, that is common sense. That is just common sense. You should know. You are a man, you should know, and all that. That is self-centered thinking and some sort of entitlement, because in any matter or relationship, you should communicate what you want to expect. You should communicate communicate your expectations, communicate your deliverables, communicate what you want to receive, communicate and over communicate. So mature individuals understand effort equals reward. So you need to put effort in understanding the other person. You need to put effort also to serve each other. But there's nobody who owes you anything, and nobody was created to give you anything. I know that's hard, but let it sink in. Number five, they avoid tough conversations. So emotional immaturity hides behind ghosting, stonewalling, excuses, and I don't want drama. Kwanza issue ya ghosting. You know, nowadays we are talking about ghosting a lot, especially when you confront somebody over an issue or over a difficult topic. It could be even in a marriage setting or even a relationship setting, where you confront somebody about you confront them on their behaviors. Maybe their behaviors are a bit rude, the way they communicate and all that, and then they tell you that, you know, this is the way I am. You either take it or leave it. When somebody tells you this is the way I am, you either take it or leave it. In short, they're telling you, I am unwilling to change, I am unwilling to improve, I am unwilling to become a better person. So this is what you're going to expect going forward. And that is a sign of immaturity, because in life, I'm a Christian, and the Bible also tells us that we try to live at peace with anyone. Try to live at peace with anyone. That means be in a position to adjust yourself to create comfort for people around you. So you'll live with people, and people have different personalities. They come from different places. So every time life will put you in a place whereby you have to choose to become the bigger person or become the adult in order to live with people, because people will be petty, people will be childish, people will act differently. But how you respond determines how the relationship is going to be. So if you see somebody who likes ghosting, who likes stonewalling, giving a lot of excuses, and I don't want drama, those are people who are, number one, very defensive, and they like avoiding tough conversations. Number 6, we look at hypersensitivity to criticism. When you provide them criticism, they take feedback as a personal attack. Yeah, and they take feedback as a personal attack. So when you give them feedback, you may hear somebody saying, so you mean I'm like this? So this is all that you've seen. You've not seen any other good thing in me. This is the only mistake that you've seen. Now they become defensive instead of giving a response like, oh, okay, I have never been told that before. I appreciate that you've shared that. Please show me the instance where it came out like that. And then you can have a conversation. Maybe even the person who's giving you feedback is a person who has received the information in a wrong way, or they interpreted the information from the wrong lens or perspective. So, but the second response shows more maturity as compared to the first one, whereby you begin to play defensive and defending why you did what you did. So there's a study that was done and published on the Journal of Emotions found that those with high emotional maturity experience lower defensiveness and higher self-improvement rates. So if you give somebody feedback and they receive it as an opportunity to improve, then you know that's an emotionally mature person. If you give them feedback and they see that as an attack, then you know that's emotional immaturity. Number 7, they have an identity that is built on validation. Immature individuals depend heavily on approval. That means social media likes, praise, or constant reassurance. And these are things we interact with every day. You know that person in your circle who, if they put on new clothes, they want you to confirm if they are smart. If they do something like they just go an extra mile, they want you to appreciate that. They want to be noticed by that. If they go and see TV, or let's say if a senior person is around, they would want to occupy the seat that is next to the senior person just to feel good. Sometimes they will even take photos with the senior person just to build their confidence. You know that, hey, you see, I was with so and so, and we did this and the other. So those are some of the things you need to check. One of the best musicians that I listen to is from America. His name is Lecrae, and one thing he says is that if you live up to people's expectations, you will die from their rejection. If you live up for their approval, you will die for their rejection. So you need to validate yourself. You need to be confident in yourself and be in a place whereby you are so excellent that you don't need somebody else to approve or to validate who you are. So a sign of maturity is having an internal stability. Number 8 sign is that they have difficulty maintaining healthy boundaries. And emotional immaturity can show up as overgiving to be liked. You overgive to be liked. You overshare information to be considered smart. You are so much into people pleasing. You want to do things to please people. Like every time you think of what will they say about me, how will they receive me, how will they react to this, or you also overstep yourself to violate other people's boundaries. You get? So if you can't maintain health boundaries, chances are you have emotional immaturity. And most of the time, even when they are pushing other people's boundaries, it's just to get their attention. Some people are just disturbed when somebody's at peace or somebody's just in a cool place. I will use an example of marriage, whereby I've heard most married men say that the wife becomes disturbed when the man chooses just to sit down and relax, and she's constantly wondering, like, why are you relaxed? You should be up, going out and doing things and doing the other. The men were telling me sometimes they just wonder, like, can't I just relax? Can I just go into my nothing zone? Can't you just appreciate my boundary? I don't know why it disturbs them by the way, but that's the feedback that I got when I talked to people. So mature people set boundaries without guilt and respect other people's boundaries without frustration. Number 9 is the inability to apologize properly. So immature apology is like this. By the way, if you felt bad, I'm sorry. Or, I am sorry if I caused you this. I'm sorry if I was on the wrong. They do not acknowledge that they were on the wrong. They do not acknowledge their mistakes. But they throw in the word if. If, when you see the word if, it means with probability. I don't agree that I caused you wrong, but if I appeared to you to be wrong, then I'm sorry. You get, that's not a heartfelt apology. So a mature apology will look like, this was my action, it hurt you, I take responsibility and I will correct it. You see, they take responsibility and they correct it. But an immature response will be like, if you felt bad, I'm sorry. Ama in Swahili you hear people say sorry basi, si basi pole, and all that. That's immature. It points out emotional immaturity. Number 10 is that they escape through distractions instead of growth. And this will be seen through activities like drinking, practicing avoidance, being a partyholic person, being a hyperactive person. Sometimes in that hyperactivity, somebody is running away from accountability. They spend too much time scrolling, keeping themselves distracted, or they also practice escapism. IUC Berkeley study found that emotionally immature adults overuse distraction-based coping, while emotionally mature adults prefer solution-based coping. So it's like you have an issue in your life. Like, let's say for instance, your blood sugar is a bit unstable, and that person can see clearly there's a way they feel in their body, things are not okay. So they have this fear, I will not go to the hospital so that I'm not told that I'm unwell. But a mature person would say, let me go to the hospital and be checked and start handling that condition medically before it gets worse. You get two outlooks. So so how does emotional maturity show up in real life? Let's look at how emotional maturity shows up in real life. Number one, it reflects in how you number one, handle conflict. Number two, set boundaries. Number three, manage stress. Number four, choose partners. Number five, how you lead teams. Number six, how you recover from disappointment. Number seven, how you control your impulses. And number eight, how you make your decisions under pressure. Your maturity determines your relationships, peace, and long-term success. You can't fake it. You can only grow to it. So those are the areas that show emotional maturity. So the pointers, I'd like to repeat them just for you to be checking out for this. Check out for how a person handles conflict. Check out for how they set boundaries. Check out for how they manage stress, how they choose partners, how they lead teams, how they recover from disappointment. Do they hold grudges or are they peacemakers? How they control impulses, and how they make decisions under pressure. So I won't leave you without showing you how to develop emotional maturity. Number one, we need to take responsibility immediately. When you've made a mistake, own the mistake, apologize, and move on, because accountability accelerates growth. Number two, you need to practice pause before reaction. I use a scripture in the Bible from the book of James that says, "Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger." So you can count to 5. Your brain needs seconds to shift from emotional to logical mode. Number 3, build self-awareness. Learn to study yourself. Take time to study yourself. Journal about your patterns. Read about your patterns. Reflect on them and see the areas that you can adjust. This helps you in being accountable and holding yourself accountable before you react to things. Number 4, develop healthy boundaries. Understand that no is a full sentence, and no is also a maturity skill. Learn to say no. It's not a weakness. Especially if a situation, you're in a situation that conflicts your values, learn to say no. Number 6, seek feedback without being defensive. One of the biggest signs of maturity is that a person will be willing to ask, by the way, how did I do in this situation? How did I perform in this situation? They always seek for feedback, even if the feedback will hurt them. But they know feedback is an opportunity for growth. Number 6, train long-term thinking. By this I mean emotional maturity is delayed gratification. So don't destroy discipline by using shortcuts. So delay gratification. Before you react, have something we call long suffering. Hold yourself for some time, think through the issue, then respond to it. So in closing, emotional maturity is not an age. It's not an age constrained issue, or saying that like this people of this age are emotional maturity. No, it comes with awareness. Neither is it education, neither is it a personality. It's a skill that is developed. It's a discipline that is developed. It's a lens that changes how you experience the world. And when you develop it, you move differently, you choose differently, you think differently, you attract differently, and your entire life transforms. So this is something you'll never learn in school. That's why my channel is called Things You Don't Learn in School, because we explore the areas that you'll never learn in school. That's why my channel exists. So if you liked this discussion on emotional maturity, please head on to our YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment and share. And if you're on TikTok, give us a follow and share these videos with other people that will help them. And you can also save the video so that you can refer to it in future. These are things you don't learn in school. Have a good day.